Art, not to be confused with pop art. Op art stands for optical art, art that uses optical illusions. These are pieces that trick the brain into thinking something is happening that couldn't really happen in real life. The name op art was coined by Time magazine in 1964. The first op artist I want to talk about is Bridget Riley, who was born in London in 1931. Her father was a printer who owned his own business. She didn't have much schooling until attending college, and as an adult, she worked in a glassware shop, as an illustrator, and as an art teacher. In 1958, she saw the work of Jackson Pollock and was inspired. She was also inspired by the scientific dot style of Georges Seurat. Around 1960, she began her signature op art style. Some of her best known op art is black and white, geometric lines and shapes that create the illusion of movement. Another op artist is Victor Vasarely. He often used colorful paintings to make 3D illusions by having clever uses of color or shapes that bend as if they are popping out of the painting. My favorite op artist is M.C. Escher. He was born Maurits Cornelius Escher on June 17, 1898, in the Netherlands. He was a sickly child who had trouble in school but was very good at art. In 1922, Escher went traveling and in Spain was inspired by the Moorish architecture at the palace called Alhambra. The decorations in this architecture are very geometric, and it has tessellations. The tessellation is an interlocking pattern that repeats with no gaps. At first, he drew very realistic art of the many places he visited, but he became more and more interested in the strange things you can do using math in art. He made impossible structures that twisted crazily in a way that wouldn't work in normal space and gravity. He used tessellated designs, and they're some of his most famous and impressive and recognizable works, to bend the laws of physics. Another intellectual who did op art was Akiyoshi Kitaoka, who would make very bright, colorful, and almost hard to look at op art that tricks your brain with the bright, overlapping colors. Let's look at some examples of op art. Maybe this one.
For this assignment, you're going to go to Canvas. You're going to open up the very first module. It says Op Art Resources. And I want you to pick 3 illusions to draw. Now, the videos, some of them only have one illusion, some of them have multiples, but I've written that in the description that you click on. So there's 6 here, and I kind of showed an example of what the 6 different ones are. This one is a wavy one, and it only has one illusion in it. This one's a swirl, again, only one there. This one is a hole in your desk. Okay. This one, if you click on it, it's just the search for on YouTube. So you can pick a ton. There's a lot more options there that you can just look through. Remember, you need to pick 3 with the exception of number 6. If you choose this one, it's way more involved. So for this one, you would be doing only this one, not 2 more as well. Okay. These are a lot more simple. Even if they look like they're not simple, once you get into them, you'll find out that they're pretty easy when they break them down. So these you'll be doing 3 of them. Okay. If you choose this one, you're only doing this one. So the first thing you're going to do then today, once you've got Canvas open, is you're going to choose your illusions. You're going to pick one, draw that, and then pick second one, draw that one until you've completed all 3, unless you are doing this one again down here, because that is way more involved. Then you are only working on just this one on larger paper. Okay. If you are doing the 3, then you're going to be working on 3 different sheets of computer paper. Okay. Do make sure that you put your name on the back of your paper, because these will be very similar to your table mates. You need to make sure that you get your name on it so that they can't go shopping for your work. Use a straight edge for all of the straight lines. And then you will be coloring these using markers or colored pencils. When the markers or colored pencils come back out on the tables, they are not used for drumming or throwing. This should not have to be stated, but obviously, if you are using these materials inappropriately, you will no longer be able to do that part of the assignment and you will just lose points on it. This is due Friday, and there's no lates as it's the end of the trimester.